Welcome to another edition of the Postgame Wrap. I'm Jared Johnson, and 30-22, Texas Tech defeated Arizona State to open up Big 12 play, and it was an impressive performance on a number of levels. It wasn't like a flawless or a perfect performance. There were some ugly parts of it, but there were some really nice aspects to the win. First off, just they got the win, but I thought the offense was, for the most part, was efficient. Now, Baron Morton, I think he only completed about 55% of his passes, but he threw for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, one to Josh Kelly, who had 10 catches. He was great. And another to John Carlos Miller, the tight end. That's 2 touchdowns in as many weeks for John Carlos there, who is playing well. No turnovers from Texas Tech at all, obviously including Baron Morton. So you got to like that. Taj Brooks ran for 117 yards, no touchdowns, but he was very good. Cam Dickey and Jacoby Williams got in there and, had a couple of nice runs. Cam Dickey especially converted a 3rd and 6 on a nice spin move in the backfield when he got hit in the backfield by Arizona State defender and was able to get out and move the chains. And I think going back to Baron Morton's performance, there was a possession when Arizona State had tightened things up because Tech jumped out to a 14-0 lead. They came out ready to play in the game, which was impressive. But Arizona State scored on a quick, 2 or 3 play drive to tighten the game up in the third quarter. And there was at least 2 or 3 3rd and 6 or more, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 6, something like that. There was 2 or 3 of those situations where Baron Morton converted those 3rd downs on completions to Josh Kelly. So that was huge. Texas Tech would run a lot of clock, add a field goal, and then go on to win the game. I think that was a big, a key moment. And that's, 3rd and 6 plus, 3rd and long is a quarterback down. And Barron converting that, I think, was great. Great. I really feel like very good day from offensive coordinator Zach Kittley. He did a really good job. But I think going on the other side perhaps may have been the most impressive aspect. First off, before I do that, I do want to give a little more props to the offense, the offensive line, which wasn't spectacular, but they weren't bad. I felt like they did a better job of winning in the trenches than Arizona State did, which I'm about to get to talking about Texas Tech's defense. And I think that was the big question was Arizona State came in with, a top 10 or top 11 nationally ranked rush defense. And Tech was able, especially with Taj, but with all the backs, to run the ball some. They were effective enough to put up 30 points and win the game. Taj did his thing. The average isn't going to be as pretty as it was at one point in the game because the Tech was running the clock and it was obvious running downs. Arizona State was loaded up and the average came down, but Tech was averaging over 5 yards a carry for a lot of the game, which is great. I guess I didn't know if Tech was going to be able to do that, to be honest. But then on the other side of the ball, the defense held Arizona State's very good rushing attack to around 3.1 yards per carry, which is great. I didn't think Tech could do that on defense, to be honest. Cam Skattebo, he had a great game. I think he had a career high over 100 yards in receiving yards, but he only had 60 yards on the ground. He only averaged around 3.1 yards per carry, and that was a big key to the game. I think everybody knew that going in, and Tech won that. Another aspect of the game was quarterback Sam Levitt for Arizona State is a good running quarterback. He's an athletic guy. He had rushed for 3 touchdowns in 3 games coming into the game against Texas Tech, and the Red Raiders did a great job of corralling him. His running ability was, he never really shook loose and made a big play and really affected the game with his legs. And you could tell Tech was dialed in on that. Guys like Ben Roberts, Chapman Lewis, who had a terrific game, but so did Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts had 11 tackles. He had a game high 11 tackles. He was all over the field. He looked very fast and physical. Jacob Rodriguez had 7 tackles, including a stop for loss. Chapman Lewis had a pass breakup on a 2-point conversion try and made several plays. Brendan Jordan, another young player on defense, had a couple of pass breakups and was very physical, made some really good plays. So the defensive line, I think Isaac Smith early really affected the game with his pass rush and a couple of nice plays. So it was really good to see that. Looks like he's finally taken a step back from that injury that cost him all of last season. So a lot of positive things on defense for the Red Raiders. Special teams were great. They made all their kicks again. Came really close to pinning Arizona State inside the 5 a couple of times. So, Tech played a more conservative style game in terms of going for it. Like McGuire mentioned that he was going to reconsider in terms of the analytics and going for 4th down. I think it paid off. Special teams played well. They won the field position battle for a lot of the game. Excuse me. I'm under the weather. If you can't tell, my voice is messed up. And I'm not 100%, but still doing the video. So please bear with me. Sorry for the coughing. But too many penalties. Tech had, I believe, 9 penalties, something like that, maybe even more, especially in the first half. In the first quarter, so many penalties. But and the refs were flag happy. You would call a lot of penalties on both teams. But, that's a persistent problem for Texas Tech. They're going to have to get that cleaned up. There's a couple of plays where there were missed tackles. Macho Stevenson he redeemed himself a little bit later in the game with a couple of nice tackles, but Braylon Lux, top cornerback on the team, he missed the game, and Macho Stevenson had to play a lot. He missed 1 tackle on the sideline where Scadaboo had a long catch and run. But overall, really, to me, the best performance by the defense so far, even better than North Texas considering the opponent. I mean, Arizona State was 3-0 coming in. They'd beaten Mississippi State, Wyoming, and a pretty good Texas State team as well there at Texas State. So good win for Texas Tech to open up Big 12 play. They're 3-1 overall, 1-0 in the Big 12. They had Cincinnati, who crushed Houston. And, Houston's not very good, but still, Cincinnati looks to be pretty good. Coming into Lubbock next week, so that's a big game for the Red Raiders. But I just want to say, I think, considering where we started, the game against ACU, the loss, the way Texas Tech looked at Washington State, to have the Red Raiders bounce back and beat North Texas the way they did, and then double down and win this game. They were up by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and so it was a 8-point final result, 8-point win, but it didn't even seem as close as that. I think it was well coached. Offensive coordinator Zach Kitley did a really good job, called a good game for the most part. Tim DeRuiter, terrific job as defensive coordinator. I thought the guys played with, I've talked about this before, with a lot of emotion and intensity, and it mattered, and I thought the offense was efficient in that they didn't turn the ball over. Barron took, advantage of some plays. Josh Kelly was key on 3rd down, as was Barron. Taj did his thing. The young backs came in and played well. So tight ends played well. Jalen Collier scored on a running touchdown out of the Wildcat formation. So a lot of positives coming out of this game. Definitely something to build on going into next week. And, of course, that just makes the game against Cincinnati. Both teams 1-0 in Big 12. I think both of them are 3-1 on the season, kind of in similar situations of the season. The big difference is Texas Tech will be playing at home at the Jones, so that's a huge advantage for the Red Raiders. So looking forward to it. Really nice, like I said, confidence-building win to open up Big 12 play for Texas Tech. But that's all I have for now. We'll have more content about the game and then, of course, leading up to next week's game. But for now, thank you for watching, and until next time.